Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel Take with Divyansu. Today we are going to learn about a CPU scheduling. Think of a CPU as the brain of a computer at any given moment. Many tasks of program want to us. This brain CPU scheduling is the process by which operating system and devices wish to program get to use the CPU first for a how long and who waited a line. Okay, first introduction to CPU scheduling. First, a criteria of to know if a CPU scheduling algorithm is good or bad. We are measure using N5 and permittance. Okay, first of multi-programming goals in keep the CPU scheduling at a time by executing another process and whenever the running process waited and for input output operations. Okay, suppose a CPU utilization keep the CPU as a busy a possible ideal of 40% to 90%. Okay, CPU input output burst cycle. Second, process execution and alternative between active CPU execution and burst and awaiting input output and burst. Okay, and the second of a throughput, the number of a process complete per unit time of higher in better. Okay, the third one of the third one of role of CPU scheduler. The short-term scheduler select a process from a ready queue and memory send assign a CPU to it. Okay, first a type of scheduling and non-primitive and primitive. Okay, first example and turnaround time, total time taken, process and submission to time complete. Okay, suppose turnaround time, TURAROUND, time TAT is equal to complete time minus arrival time. Okay, complete time minus arrival time. Okay, waiting time, waiting time. Okay, waiting time W is equal to turnaround time TAT minus burst time. Okay, suppose TAT first is equal to complete time minus arrival time. Okay, 80, and waiting time is equal to TAT minus BT. Okay, and response time. Okay, RT is equal to response time. Okay, core concept of the process that arrive first in the ready queue get the CPU first. It non-primitive once a process start executing the run until of completion. Okay, suppose a real life example, ticket counter and grocery store of queue. Okay, या तो ticket counter. Imagine standing in line at a move ticket counter. The person who arrived the first get a ticket first. Okay, if the first person take a 20 minutes to busy ticket for a larger group, everyone and behind them must bought even if they only needed one single ticket. Okay, of a progress and coins advantage are very simple uh, and implementing. Okay, very simple and implementing. And disadvantage of a convey effect, smaller process wait a long time behind one hogs and process and increasing the average waiting time and significance. Okay, first a non-primitive type of a non-primitive, the CPU assigned the process with a shortest of execution of burst time. If two processes have the same burst time, FCFS, FCFS, okay, then if used as a tide and break, one started in cannot be of a interrupt. Okay, first come, first serve. Okay, the process primitive primitive of SJF. Okay, shortage. Okay, remaining time first, SRTF. Okay, shortage remaining time first. Okay, okay, a primitive if a new process arrive with a shortage remaining execution time than the currently running process, the CPU and primitives and stop a currently and switch the shortest one. Suppose a real life example, a supermarket and express line. Okay, imagine a checkout a counter where a customer with only two items is allowed to go ahead of a customer who has 50 items in their carts. This minimize the average waiting time for everyone in line. Okay, advantage of primitive gives the minimum average waiting time among all scheduling algorithm. Okay, disadvantage of a long process may waited indefinitely if shortest process keeps arriving up continuously. Okay, again there is a CPU scheduling criteria: CPU utilization, throughput, turnout time, waiting time and response time. Okay, all formulas are complete them. Okay, TAT completes completion arrival time, burst time. Okay, then first come first serve algorithm. Okay, concept of process that are required the CPU first get allot. Okay, the CPU first using FIFO, first in first out and queue. An executive type of security known as primitive one allowed the process of a completion. Okay, again sorted sorted job first. Okay, non-primitive of primitive versus primitive. Okay, then or cover this point. Okay, and priority scheduling. Okay, a each a process in assign a priority number, the CPU allocate the process with the highest probability priority. Okay, usually a lower number indicate higher uh, priority. It can be either a primitive or non-primitive. Suppose a real life example: a patient arrive. Okay, hospital emergency room. A patient arrived at a hospital. Okay, energy of emergency room, a pattern with a minor of headache with the waiting area. But if a patient with a severe head attack, okay, arrive to doctor ahead, okay, that attack patient immediately of a regardless of who arrive up first. Okay, suppose a problem, key problem of solution problem, a lower priority process might never execute a higher probability process keep arriving solution, and a gradually of increase the priority of a process that wait the system for a long time. Okay, next are a very important topic of examination. Okay, round robin of RR. Okay, suppose designed a signify, okay, of time time sharing system. Okay, time time sharing time sharing system. Okay, time sharing system, each a process get a small unit of CPU time, okay, called a time quantum or time slice, usually 10 to 100 millisecond. If the process of does not finish within its time quantum, it a primitive and send to back the ready to queue. Okay, then suppose a teacher okay, answering a question, imagine a teacher given a 2 minute to each student to ask question. Okay, if if a student needed more time, then must wait until the teacher spend 2 minutes with every other student in the row before uh, coming back to them. Then advantage of real life example, fair allocation of CPU time, execution response time for interrupt and applications. Disadvantage of if the time quantum tool is small and executive context switching and overhead and reduce system efficiency. Okay, and multi-level queue and okay, multi-level again, multi-level queue and architecture and okay, suppose the ready queue, okay, of partition into serval and spat queue. Okay, separate queue and based on a process type, system process in process which the process. Okay, each queue has its win priority and scheduling algorithm and round robin for interactive task. FCFS for batch task. Okay, suppose a real life example of airport security and boarding lines. Airport have a different queue: first class VIP, okay, passenger, business class and economic class VIP passenger are a proceed. First economy passenger are served only with VIP line and is empty. Okay, a limitation, process up permanently assigned to one queue upon entry that cannot move between queue, which can causes and survive starvation for lower priority and queue. Okay, and again multi-level, okay, feedback queue, a similar multi-queue but with a key employment of process can move between queue. Okay, first if a process use too much CPU time, it's is moved to a lower priority queue. Okay, if a process wait too long in a low priority queue, it is moved to a higher priority queue. Again, if a process wait tool along low priority queue, it is a moved to higher priority queue. Okay, suppose a real life example. When you customer service, your call goes to level 1 support queue answer. Okay, if your issues are complex and task along, you get offer transferred to a level 2 or level 3 senior technical assigned, so level 1 and remaining free from a quickly call. Suppose the example, okay, example, it is a most flexible and a journal CPU scheduling algorithm and dynamically and adjusting process and behavior and maximum responsibility and throughput. Okay, okay. Then again, of comparison of scheduling and, okay, schemas, FSC, SFS, okay, priority, round robin, multi-level queue and MLFS queue. Okay, and solve number and problem P1 burst time. Okay, then arriving time AWT. Okay, all this problem are in next video are proper solving. And okay, okay, I will cover this topic the next video and specify how it work and proper and produce of this question. Okay, then thank you very much support for me, and share anyone my videos and subscribe my channel and comment. Okay, thank you, bye bye.